Welcome back into North Dakota. Today we are cooking with Cashway. Randall, I see giant pieces of meat in front of me. So
That's all you see is giant pieces of meat. You don't see this.
Oh, I guess all the other stuff too. Zoned in on the meat.
So we're talking about marinating pork chops.
Oh, nice. Okay. Love that.
So first thing off, those are huge, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So these are cut from so we have a product here called Premium Reserve. It's a really nice pork product, and I cut these chops from there. One is Frenched, and it doesn't, so these have the meat like in this area. Mm-hmm. This one is Frenched, so the bone is exposed.
Gotcha.
But you know, when you get a pork chop this thick, you know, to cook that all the way on a grill, mm-hmm. you're going to basically end up, you know, making that pretty dark.
Right.
Unless you go low and slow. Okay. You can easily do that.
And I imagine either way, it's going to take you a good while with how.
Right. Yeah. And then that's where a thermometer comes in really handy. Okay. And you know, technically, 145 on pork. If you want your pork a little bit more than that, you know, certainly you can, but 145. So I usually pull it about 142, okay, and then let it carry over.
Gotcha.
So in the marinade here, we have some brown sugar, but I switched out the brown sugar for maple.
Oh,
okay.
Love that.
So a marinade is going to have some basic, components. It's going to have some kind of a salt or some kind of maybe an element of that sort. So this is soy that we use for the salt here. It's going to have some kind of a sweetener, or maybe not. It has some oil,
okay,
and then maybe some acid.
Gotcha.
So now the only thing is that with acid, acid can also eat away at the flesh of the product,
right,
and make it kind of mushy.
Okay.
So I forego any kind of acid in the particular recipe, but some people can use pineapple juice, but you just got to be really careful that you don't let it marinate for too long.
Okay.
Okay. And then it's got a little booze in there.
Love that.
So that's kind of our acid, I guess, in a sense. So, but I think it's just that, you know, what I want to convey here is that a marinade is really, we're flavoring the meat. We're enhancing the meat in some way. So we are shaping it. And I can shape this in a whole lot of ways. There's a lot of different marinades. So once you understand that there's some basic components of a marinade, now we start adding our flavors in. So I went with sage and thyme to kind of work with my maple and that really nice butterscotch flavor of bourbon. So I'm really kind of trying to reinforce those flavors and make it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more punchy, I guess, or not. Or, you know, it's got some body to it.
We like punchy.
Yeah,
punchy recipes.
So, but just that's kind of where we went with the marinade.
How long do these sit in the marinade?
So yeah. If you have an acid in there, I would say probably don't go more than 6 hours. Okay. I would really stay, you know, and then just keep an eye on them as well.
Okay. And with the marinade, obviously we talked about how it flavors the meat and really like kind of gets down in there and makes more of an impact. Is that maybe the reason to lean more that way instead of just like a rub that you could put onto the meat? Because both of them flavor it, but kind of the benefits of a marinade.
So a rub would be, a classic would probably be bacon. Mm-hmm. That's got a rub.
Yes.
And then a marinade is something that we wanted to actually penetrate. Mm-hmm. So a bacon, it's going to penetrate, but it gets kind of tumbled and kind of works it in there. Now, with something product this big, it would not be uncommon for someone to inject the marinade into it.
I've seen that. I watch a lot of barbecue shows because that's how fun of a person I am. On my spare time, I watch
and a product like this can take up to about 10% of its weight in some kind of a saline solution.
Okay. Gotcha. So what's the plan with these guys? How do we want to?
So what we're going to do is we're going to mark them on the grill. So we're going to get that nice caramelization on the grill. And then we're going to move them into the oven and take them for the rest of the way.
All right, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and start doing that, and we'll show you the finished product when we get back. We are cooking with Cashway in North Dakota today.